Yeah, we showed you this moments ago. Conservative commentator, Newsmax host Benny Johnson giving a speech at the University of Iowa. This is where it happened when he was attacked for a meme of Kamala Harris, executive editor at Newsbusters at the Media Research Center. Tim Graham joins us now. It looks like people are reacting. It seems you had a segment on this yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, the anger in America is next level. We're not talking about homeless people who have mental illness, who commits acts of violence or frustration. We're talking about potentially otherwise rational Americans are angered by what seem to be the smallest things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this was what, Kamala Harris and some mariachi music? That's kind of an odd thing to get really upset about. But
right.
As you suggested, these Talking Point USA seminars on college campuses, obviously TPUSA quite associated with Trump. So you have a lot of people who just assume if you like Trump, you're a racist. And they get angry like this and scream profanities about what a racist you are. But, you know, we should have a politics with a single standard about violence, and that is we don't need any of it. You know,
yeah.
You don't have a debate. You don't win a debate by punching somebody in the face.
And nobody forces him to be there, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't like the speech, what happened to the time when people just walk out in a huff? Or whatever it might be.
Storm out of the room.
Yeah, because that's what scares me is the difference is 20 feet between attacking a podium and attacking the person, or it's when that person walks out. Mm-hmm. Also this, 41-year-old Shannon Brandt in North Dakota said he was afraid 18-year-old Kayler Ellingson was part of a Republican extremist group and that he was afraid they were going to get him. So what did he do? He hit the 18-year-old with his car and killed him, Tim.
Yeah, a Ford SUV. Look, this happened in a tiny town in North Dakota, so maybe the first excuse for the media not covering that is, well, we don't have any reporters in North Dakota.
Right.
But you remember this story about Matthew Shepard in Wyoming? You didn't
yes.
get to say it was a story in a...
Back in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm old enough to bring those up. But
yeah, and I'm old enough to know them. I mean, he was he was attacked for being gay. Go ahead.
Also, also to point out, though, sorry to interrupt you there, Tim. We also want to point out that man who did run down and kill that supposed young Republican is out on $50,000 bond.
Mm. Yeah, he's the one that said. He's the one that said he ran him down after a political dispute. And what's been weird, like the story that AP did was sort of like, well, the police haven't established that the killer was telling the truth about why he killed the kid. You know, like they want to take the political violence element out of it. I guess we'll see how that turns out. But maybe we won't, because this is one of those things where national media are just saying, nope, not a story. We're not going to do this story. We only do stories that serve the liberal narrative, and this isn't one of those.
Yeah, and Tim, the thing that strikes me is people talk about January 6th as representing those on the right doing something. And I don't think anybody supports the attack on the Capitol. We certainly don't. But the representation of MAGA, for instance, that they're violent, that they're a threat. Yet you see things like this go on, and that doesn't get the coverage. Which is what you're talking about. So it's like extremists can exist on either side, and I'm not saying all MAGA are extreme by any stretch, but whatever is on the right that's extreme, there are people extreme on the left, and it's almost like that's okay.
Well, that is sort of one definition of using extreme or extremist is somebody who's willing to use extreme tactics. And that is something that you would think a news media, which claims to be in favor of democracy, in favor of facts and objectivity, would say we can have one standard of civility, which is we're against rioting no matter who does it. And
right.
That's not what we've had. All the people who have rightly denounced the January 6th riots had a real trouble denouncing the riots after George Floyd's killing in 2020. I think they used terms like, it's a racial reckoning. You know, they tried to glorify it or merge it in with the nonviolent protests. It's all one glorious pile of resistance.
Right.
it'd be nice if the news media could be against political violence of both sides.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, also thinking of Supreme Court justices' homes, thinking about pro-life clinics also being attacked, but somehow those don't really seem to be the big stories, or it's oh, well, that's okay because it's just protesting and not dangerous. Again, seems to be a double standard indeed. Tim Graham, thanks for joining us.